Well, welcome in everyone. My name is Jeremy Lefebvre and I run the Financial Education channel on YouTube. I am someone that has been an unbelievably successful investor in the stock market, and I've also made a few mistakes. And so with this course here today, I have one goal in mind, and it starts and ends with this one goal. And this is to give a decade of experience to you guys in one course, okay? I've been in the markets for a decade now. I've experienced so much. I've made so much money in the market, and I've lost some money on a few mistakes I made. And I want to teach you guys about everything you could possibly know about the things you want to look for in a company, things you want to stay away from, the sectors and things like that. I want to teach you guys everything you need to know from a decade of experience. And that is my number one and my only goal with this course, and I hope to inspire you guys and things like that also, but mainly I just want to give away a decade of knowledge in a course. I'm going to try my best in this course to do so. So before we get into the lessons and all that, and we've got I think somewhere around 35 to 40 lessons to get into here. It's a lot, guys. It's going to be a lot of information for you. I want to just give a little bit of background for the people that maybe know me, but they don't know too much about my background of story in the stock market. So my story in the stock market starts in 2008, okay? 2008, if you were around back then, you remember it was the time that we were going into the Great Recession here in the United States, okay? We were going into the Great Recession, and it was just really, really bad out there, okay? It was really bad. And that was my introduction into the stock market. When I was looking into the stock market was completely crashing. It was a crazy situation, right? This was something that the markets hadn't crashed like they crashed in 2008, 2009 in a long time, decades upon decades, guys, and it just went so far off the rails, right? And so I'm getting in the stock market because I was kind of interested. I'm like, I want to make my money into money. I had very little money at that time. I think I had $1,000 saved or something like that, and I'm like, I want to start making my money into money. Like, how do I do this? So I looked into savings accounts and CD accounts. I realized you can't get any return on your money on doing those type of things, like a savings account, a CD account. You're not going to make any money in that game, okay? And I had very little money, so I couldn't buy houses or real estate or things like that, right? Never mind that. No one was loaning at that particular time anyways. Even if you had a great plan on how you were going to renovate a house and flip it for money, no banks were loaning at that time. No one was loaning. There was no lending going on pretty much out there in the market. Didn't depend on you if you were a accredited investor or a new guy of the game. Like, no one was loaning money. Banks weren't loaning at that time. So when I looked at it, I kind of like saw like, well, there's bonds also. Bonds don't seem very interesting, but there's a stock market, okay? There's a stock market. So I started studying the stock market, started learning throughout 2008 and whatnot. And then I finally came across a guy named Warren Buffett. This was probably late 2008, maybe early 2009. And when I came across Warren Buffett, that is the thing that really propelled me, and I really started to learn about the stock market, and things started to make sense. The way you would view companies as investments and things like that. All those things. And I would search up every possible thing about Warren Buffett. I wanted to learn everything there was to know about Warren Buffett. And it was hard because YouTube was kind of new at that time, and that was really the only platform you could try to even find information. A lot of people would like record their TV sometimes and maybe like post on YouTube or an interview or something like that. And so I had to try to like, go through all these little clips of Warren Buffett and try to like snag a gem from this interview, snag a gem from here, snag a gem from here, and kind of just start learning from there. Then I read The Intelligent Investor. Things made even more sense, and I got into some other books and whatnot. I had a phenomenal accounting teacher in late 2008 into 2009 who taught me all the basics around balance sheets, income statements and whatnot, and kind of what was important there. I got my mind opened up by also that instructor because he opened my mind up to compounding interest, which even propelled me further to the stock market. So then I really realized, wow, if I can get maybe, let's say, a 15-20% gain in the stock market per year on money that I'm funneling into those accounts and whatnot, this is going to be massive. Like, this is going to be huge, right? So everything was just propelling me to the stock market, propelling me, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I started studying companies, reading 10Ks, reading 10Qs, and then I was off. I started actually investing. The first actual investment I made was in Walgreens stock because I worked for Walgreens. This was in 2008, 2009. I worked for Walgreens, and I was able to buy their shares for a discount. And by the way, back then their shares were like $20 a pop. Now I think they're 80 or 90 or something like that. So I was buying their shares at a discount. Then I started actually investing, in stocks that weren't Walgreens related in probably 2009, and then I was off from there. So as I went, I got better and better gains as the years went on. 2010 did phenomenal. 2011 did amazing. 2012, 2013, 2014, did unreal. By 2014, I had $200,000 in my stock market brokerage account, which is crazy, okay? That's crazy because I started from nothing. I was starting from the ground floor, okay? So I was building my accounts from literally nothing in 2008, 2009, to all of a sudden by 2014 we had $200,000 in there. Why? Because I had a massive amount of successful investments. Monster Energy, Cabela's, Trinity Industries, Cirrus Logic. I was in and out of Apple several times throughout those years. There was stock after stock that I had huge gains on, and I did phenomenal. Then came 2015, okay? I left my workplace at that time, wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my life, wasn't sure if I want to trade stocks, ended up starting to get into a lot of bad stuff, margin accounts, things like that, where I was actually investing debt to invest because I kind of let my head get too big. I thought I was too great at stock market investing, and I ended up going down the margin route, and I lost $75,000 of my own money that year, lost $25,000 of my wife's money that year. I hope no one ever has to go through what I put myself through. I put myself in that situation. I have no one to blame except myself for what happened that year. Losing $100,000 at age 24, 25, it's a lot of money to lose, guys, and I did that in 2015. So I learned a massive lesson, and it was about greed, and it was about, you know, losing confidence and things like that. And, you know, I learned so much that year that, you know, I probably wouldn't be here in front of you today if it was not for what happened in that year, because it woke me up, and it's a big part of my story is not just all the success I've had and all the money I've made and things like that from stocks. I also want to teach people about what happened there in 2015, because that was just, I just went so far off the rails, right? And you know, it's horrible. So anyways, you know, and the story goes on. Now we're in 2018, and, you know, we're here, and, you know, I got a huge social media following, 120,000+ subscribers now on YouTube. And, you know, it's crazy the way things have blown up and gone on and whatnot. But a decade in the stock market now, and I've seen so much, guys, and I've experienced so much. So I hope I do my best job possible as far as explaining all this to you guys today, and I hope you, you know, kind of learn as much as possible. Make sure you take your time with this course. If you want to, you know, binge watch all these videos in one night, do it. But I'm just going to tell you, you know, it's a lot of information, and you don't want to miss anything. So make sure you're watching these videos in the future and whatnot. You've already paid for the course, I'm sure, at this point in time. So, you know, you can watch those videos at any time you want. Make sure you're watching those videos in the future, again, guys, because there's going to be a ton of information in this course, and you don't want to let something slip by, because one thing that slips by could be the difference between you making tens of thousands of dollars a year more, you know, in the future, or losing tens of thousands of dollars, guys. It's like that. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you get a ton of value out of it, guys. Thanks for being here, and let's get into it.